Hello, everybody. My name is Shaw Ashley, and I am here with,
Meredith Chandler.
and we are the hosts of the season 2 of the North Myrtle Beach Celebrity Survivor Challenge. And we are hopping on here today as you guys see, our Merge episode is officially out. And we are here to discuss the people who made the Merge this year. So we're just going to run through all the names and quickly discuss them and give you guys our thoughts when we were there and they made the Merge. And feel free to leave what you guys think in the comments. It's a pretty interesting merge, I would say. I
Mhm.
think it's going to shape out to be a good season. So, first, let's talk about from the Yellow Tribe, Laura. So, what do you have to say about Laura?
We know Laura wasn't feeling well for a while, and she really did rally. I mean, from going from I'm not sure if I can do this to I'm going all the way. I think she, kind of rebirthed once she had just a little bit of something in her system and kind of got going. But I thought she did a great job, kind of coming back from the edge.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know if we were going to have to pull her from the game or if she was going to quit. I mean, season 1, we really didn't have anybody feeling bad. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody was pretty healthy. And so it was a surprise for us to see how Laura was. But I agree, she definitely bounced back right after the auction, and you guys will see how
Mhm.
well she bounced back. But so let's talk about Derek. The Yellow Tribe didn't really have a lot of screen time in the pre-merge because they just won everything up until the last tribal council before the merge. So we didn't get to see a lot of them in the confessionals. But what do you have to say about Derek?
I think Derek is just a little bit of a sleeper. He plays this kind of shy, quiet, and then he just kind of hops in and runs a challenge. So, and I think that Derek might be a little bit underestimated as we go forward. He just um, went from kind of hanging out and seeing what's going to happen to like kind of taking control on some things. So I think Derek will be interesting to watch.
I agree. He's definitely one to keep your eye out for. He is, like Meredith said, very quiet, but
Mhm.
I think being a sheriff deputy, he's got this kind of a leadership thing that
Mhm.
it's not outwardly like on the real show, how we've seen some people take it to extreme, but he definitely has a leadership sense about him. And I think we'll be able to see that as they have the numbers going into this merge. Um, yeah. So I'm really interested to talk and hear your thoughts about the next player. What do we think about Leah?
Oh, well, I was a little worried for Leah because she has got that big personality and she kind of, put it out front what she wanted to do. And it's probably really, really good for her that the tribe was so strong, like that helps her a ton. So that helps her to kind of stay off the radar from some of the others. But now that we're in the merge, could potentially put a target, just
Hmm.
because she is a threat.
Yeah. She's of our cast. She is one of the handful that I think really would have a good shot to be on the real show, just with her, personality.
Mhm.
She's very like almost too bubbly sometimes. She's just very bubbly and wants to get along with everyone. And some people don't take that, always in the best sense. Like it's kind of like a persona or a facade. That way they could get what they really want.
Mhm.
Um, and she's a behavior analyst. And she really, we've seen that in the pre-merge. She's really used that to her
Mhm.
advantage. And it's only, getting started from what we've seen
And
so
I
far.
definitely think that someone we know, potentially everyone knows, our good buddy Fairplay would probably write her a letter of recommendation to be on the show.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that was a good tribe for her, that we, chose to put her there. All these tribes, the yellow tribe I had obviously the least amount because, it was a random assortment of people, but I was excited to see the green and pink tribes perform it. I think Leah definitely took the biggest role on that tribe, even above Crystal,
Mhm.
I would say.
Yeah.
So she's definitely one to look out on. So hopping over to the pink tribe, we have Nicole. And I really like Nicole. Nicole was one of the two applicants who made it on this season. And she's, I think the youngest female on the
Mhm.
cast. And I just really like Nicole a lot.
Yeah, I was just a little bit worried about her sunburn because she was already sunburned coming in and then she was out there all day. We did provide them with sunscreen, so they were protected. I
Hmm.
just was a little bit worried about that, getting a chill if she stayed they make the merge, they're staying. So being down there on that point, I wondered how that would end up.
Yeah. She got my favorite camp, I guess the cast's least favorite camp, but it's the
Mhm.
most pretty and the most visible to the
It
sun.
was.
It's out there. But I think, going in with the Pink Tribe, I think we both underestimated how much Fair Play is. I mean, we know he's a character, but he definitely overperformed, I would say. And I didn't really think about the people on that tribe and how, you know, introverted a lot of that group is. And I
True.
think Nicole is one of, a little bit more outwardly, open than Angela and Josh, but still not really still very reserved. So I think now that Fair Play's out of the way, I think this group of three with Angela, Josh, and Nicole are going to stay strong. And I think it's really going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Mhm.
So, hopping back over to the Green Tribe, we have Ryan. I don't have a whole lot to say about Ryan, so I want to hear what you have to say.
Ryan was kind of surprised to me. He was not someone that I knew prior to the game. Most of the contestants I've at least had, some interaction with. And he felt like he was kind of a late addition, but he hopped right in and held his own. Like he is not, he's there to make a name, like he didn't want to be the one that kind of they picked on first or that they took out early. He wanted to be considered, a strong and valuable player to his team. And I think he was pretty vocal to all of the team about that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Ryan is one of those people, we saw, I mean, actually they didn't really get to see in the kayak challenge, but Ryan and
Yeah,
Crystal were in a kayak together and we had to send a boat out to pick
that's
them up
right.
because they struggled so bad. So Ryan's not one of those people who's extremely physically competitive in terms of these challenges going forward, but strategically and socially he's really good. I mean, we've seen so far, Crystal and Kenny in the real show,
Hmm.
that Ryan has kind of gone under Crystal like Kenny did, and Leah's
I
right
think
in the.
she made that reference to him as well, I
Oh
think.
yeah,
Well,
um,
one of the last episodes.
oh yeah, and I think Ryan, even though he's like 22, he's run for like the House of Representatives, I think
Hmm.
already, or our state house, and he's definitely more openly and outward and strategic than I think we've seen so far, I would say.
Hmm.
So, one of my favorites, and I always root for the older ladies that come out there. My favorite going into this merge is definitely Angela. And she's in that group with the Pink Tribe, and she came into this game with a lot of advantages. I think three or four she came in with. She definitely was stacked there. So, what do you have to say about Angela?
She was amazing pre-game. Like we were all super impressed. She did a lot of great things. I know that where everyone else saw her success in fundraising and such, so they knew that she had something. They didn't know what it was, but they knew that she had something. And Johnny
Yeah.
was pretty well spot on to say she had 3 or 4 items, and
Mhm.
he tried to tell everybody, and no one listened to him. And I think that she came to win as well. I know her, and I know her heart for this. Like she is super competitive, and recently retired. I wish her luck in her retirement, but maybe she could step up and be on the real show too. She's got that same kind of spirit.
Yeah, and I mean, for she's so physically active outside of
Mhm.
the game, and that really has benefited her so far, and I think will continue to benefit her in the game.
That's right.
And I mean, I think after the game, she was like, "Never again. This was too
Mhm.
much." But I think throughout the whole game, she really did hold her own and was constantly somebody you have to keep your eye on. But she
Mhm.
never was really got into that big target till closer to the end, but she really people should have targeted her, especially the pre-merger. We're just now getting into the merge, so I
Yeah, they
don't know.
let her walk into Merge with a lot of stuff in her pocket.
She didn't have to use anything, and she went to
Mhm.
travel twice. I mean, craziness. But so next, and one thing I want to say is this Principals Alliance. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I don't really, I mean, we were in all of the chats. I don't really remember seeing anything like that. And that just got put out there because of, I guess, their profession. And I mean, to be honest, those are the people that we have access to and the people that, are like, yeah, because they are super competitive. Like, we're gonna go down the line here in a moment, and the next one's pretty competitive. And we lost Rachel kind of early, but she was out to win too.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I mean, was it last year? It wasn't really the principals, it was the Teachers Alliance. And
Mhm.
that one was actually a legitimate thing that happened. That was an alliance. So I get why people might see that. And, there were three, I mean, two assistant principals and a principal, and one of
Mhm.
them one duo worked together and still really didn't even care. I mean, I think they honestly even had it out for each other more than they really wanted to work together.
Oh yeah.
So that was just a constant thing this entire season. And it's funny to me because it never truly was a thing. People talked it up the entire time. But anyways, Mariah. I love Mariah.
I do too. She's gotten to be one of my favorite Facebook friends, and just to chat with her, and she just genuinely has a heart for people. So I can't, I didn't see a whole lot of like killer instinct except for the paintball challenge. She was doing some baseball slides and some kind of running and hiding, and was pretty aggressive with a paintball gun. So that was fairly impressive for her.
I didn't even realize that you were even in at the end. That
Mhm.
made me
I was in
laugh
line
with
of fire. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with your mask. That
That
made
was
me.
me.
But I mean, we didn't get to see a lot of Mariah on the show. And she wasn't originally planned to be on this cast. She was also a last minute kind of celebrity edition that we put on. And
Mhm.
I kind of, we had two winners last year. And Fairplay and Crystal are very well-known contestants, even though they
Mhm.
didn't win. So I was it was a curveball for Mariah, throwing Mariah on here, but you know, people like her, they're not necessarily guaranteed a second chance on the real show. So they use this as a second chance because it's, similar in a lot of ways, of course. So I would, the for one tribal council she's been to, she's the one who calls the flip. She was with the Girls
That's
Alliance,
right.
but she flipped to the Boys Alliance. And I mean, that was a huge move. And that's already in the pre-merge. So there's a lot more, I think, with her coming. James, what do we think about James?
I knew coming in, and that's sort of the reason that I wanted to invite him to be a part of this particular cast, because I know that he and Rachel are kind of like they're super competitive with each other all the time, and so I thought that that would be a really good head to head. Just I know that he's super competitive, just in general. I mean, I've seen him in the classroom. How he deals with the staff, and he likes to celebrate all their successes as well. So I knew that he would be a really good addition to any tribe that he was put on. Obviously a benefit to have someone who thinks with that nature all the time. Like how can we better? What can we do to win? How can we get ahead of the next tribe? And I think that he brought a lot to the team in terms of strategy, right in front.
I agree. And he was my principal a while back, and I really enjoyed, you know, how he was as a principal. Like you said, it always felt like extremely school spirit at,
Mhm.
when I was there. And yeah, I was also really excited for him to come on here, and he, I think, really kept that tribe motivated and strong, especially Laura. I think he was a big motivator for Laura so she didn't quit, or just
Mhm.
to keep going. And he dominated, I mean, paintball, like you said. But he is very personality for the other tribes that you either love or you hate. So I think, he is a very physically competitive person. So, obviously their tribe has four and the other tribes are down three. But, in my head, and I know it was in your head, those two tribes could just link up and become a 6v4.
That's right.
And so I think James really, in his head, thinks he has it in the bag because of the numbers, but I think he's got to look at all the different perspectives, and I think he's going to be the leading force on that tribe with Mariah, to really think
Mhm.
those things through. Um, Next up, we have two more people. We have Josh. Josh. I'll let you start. Go ahead.
When we arrived at the camp that morning, and we're counting off and signing in and getting things done, and somebody didn't call, didn't speak to anybody, didn't notify anyone, just skipped out. And Josh was there really to be helpful to us. He's great, a water guide. He does kayaks like I do, and he just signed up to help whoever we needed him. And then last minute, we're like, oh my goodness, we need a player. And he's like, me. And I mean, that's incredibly selfless. He didn't have any preparation for that. He didn't have any gear for that. We're like scrambling to get some things, and he just stepped in and saved us on that one. So that was a blessing just right up front.
Yeah. And I mean, one of our favorite volunteers, bless her heart, Cricket, she lived right down the road and,
Mhm.
managed to get some tennis shoes and stuff and get him some gear. But, in the first season, during every tribal council, you hear like drums, and that was Josh in the back,
Mhm.
the entire tribal council voting time.
Yep.
And he brought his drum and he was going to come and do that. And, at the end of the game, they all signed his drum, which I think was super cool.
That was cool.
Um, but yeah, he was just there to do the drums and volunteer. And we, I guess we should have, but we didn't think about having alternates because we think these people are truly committed to this.
Mhm.
But anyways, during the game, I mean, obviously Josh was one of the few people who stood up to fair play and really didn't care what he had to say. And fair play before he knew about Angela and all the advantages, fair play was hardcore targeting Josh because he was the alternate. You're having all these stupid little reasons because it's only 2 days. Stupid little reasons to vote these people out, whether it be I think she has three advantages, or I know he's an alternate. I don't know who this is. And there is some truth to that. These people had 6 months to prepare. Josh had 6 minutes.
Mhm.
So he might have a big target on his back coming into this merge because he's an easy pick off, but I'm really hopeful, and y'all will see, how he's a super fan of the show, strategically dominate to get what he wants. And last but not least, on our merge cast, we have the almighty Crystal Cox from Gabon. What do you think about Crystal?
Well, I will say that that was probably one of my favorite seasons. When I was younger and first watching, well, it's been around a while, but first watching the show, I just remember the fear and actual like abject scared factor they gave to all of us. And so she walked into our plan like, I got this, not a problem. And she wanted a second chance to win as well. So
Mhm.
that's, a motivation factor. Let me come back and show them what I can still do.
Yeah. And I mean, Crystal's one of those people who she knew what she wanted, like you said, but in the show, for being an Olympian, she was not physically competitive at all. And she's not really been here either. But she does have a social and strategic sense about her.
Mhm.
And she's entertaining. I love her. And I was really excited. I mean, we saw Fair Play twice, kind of 1.5 times. And we saw Mariah's little stint. But I wanted to see what Crystal could do. I mean, 15 years later, it's been.
Right.
So she definitely performed in this season, and I'm excited for y'all to be able to see how she competes. So, I mean, that pretty much wraps up our cast. Anything else you want to say about the season?
No, there's some great challenges coming. There's a surprise cameo that's pretty awesome. And one of the challenges I was, honored to share that with someone. And it was just really kind of a good time. Like it flows and runs pretty quickly after this. And you're sad every time one of your faves gets voted out, just like on the show.
Yeah. And tribals are really fun and exciting on my
Mhm.
end. Like Meredith said, she does the challenges and the challenges are super fun. And a lot of times, I don't get to see all the challenges, and a lot of times Meredith doesn't get to see all the tribals. So it's
Mhm.
interesting that we both get to see those perspectives when the show airs. We don't know, I don't know a lot about the challenges. So I'm excited. So you guys are gonna love this season. The we I haven't I don't you haven't seen the Emerge episode yet, but it just got posted before we got
Mhm.
on. So it is the auction. There's no elimination. It's just the Survivor auction. So it'll be a lot of fun. So thank you, Meredith, for hopping on with me, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the season. And a special shout out to Josh for taking over
Yes.
our editing. Um, I don't know if you have anything you want to say, but
No,
he's
I definitely am just super impressed with Josh picking this up and running with it. I mean, um, we thought we had made this big decision, and little we didn't know how much Josh was really going to bring to this entire season. Not only did he step in and play last minute, and he had agreed up front to be one of our volunteers, but now he's also our editor, programming director, like all those big things. So we
mhm.
appreciate you, Josh.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Meredith, for all of your work this season and all of our volunteers. And we will see you. I'm sure I think we're going to do a reunion again. So
Mhm.
hopefully the both of us and the cast will hop on for the Zoom. We're excited to see y'all. Thank you.